Okay, today we're down here by the sort of by United Parcel Service in South Omaha. AJ wanted film of this track today because some of it's already been torn out and there's construction going on. We don't know if they're tearing out some more or not. I'm looking to mostly the east, a little bit to the south. This track curved to the south. There's a piece over there. AJ, can you tell if that little piece is old track, like just a piece laying there, or if it used to go there?
It's hard to tell because sometimes they put little ties there when they're gonna upgrade the track.
Yeah. Why don't we walk down there and check it out? Just off to my left, which is to the north. That's UPS. Well, I've walked past where that curve was now down to see the tracks that head to the south. These tracks go south of AJ's apartment building. Well, they go in front of it and then they go either north or south. Don't see any trains sitting down there today, but there usually are some. This used to be the main road up here on top of this, where those cars are going. Curved around to go through Bellevue, but now Highway 75 goes all the way south there. And that bridge is part of it. It's more of a bigger road that bypasses Bellevue now. Okay, here I'm scanning east and moving back to the north. This is that same set of tracks going to the north. In the background there to the left, you can see the Stockyards Exchange building where AJ lives. That's it. AJ lives on the 9th floor in that center section. And that bridge there would be the Q Street Bridge on about 27th or so. 27th would be the west end of it. Going back down the tracks, headed to the right here. And looking back to the south. This piece that curves in to the south set is the one I just walked along. It comes from the west and curves into the south. Okay, this is where that curve continues on now, and I'm looking back toward UPS, kind of to the northwest. I'll walk back now and see that piece of track that's off by itself. Don't know what this is. AJ probably will. This is right by the track. Okay, here's that piece that's just kind of laying there. It's really hard to tell if it's just pieces there or if it's part of an old track. This one section looks pretty embedded. So that almost looks like, you know, it's been there. But again, it's hard to say. The sign that crosses the street ahead a little further said 2 tracks, but there's only one left now. And the one that is here doesn't look like it's used at all, or very rarely. I'm headed back from where I came now. There's a picture of that post that I just was close up to. So that's south, coming back toward, straight ahead is north, and the camera's moving back along the track that goes to the west here now. Again, here's those pieces that are laying down here. And what's to the left now is this fence for, it looks like maybe a trucking company or something. I don't know, it's something industrial. more pieces of this track, and then it's just done. This part right here, I don't see any spikes in, and I don't know if it was just laying here and it got this dirt up along it or what. Can't say. I'm just walking along the track that was in the film here going to the west. I don't know, I really think this track isn't used at all. The top isn't worn shiny. There's weeds in it back there. Pieces up here look really crooked. Right through there. Oh, there's AJ. Hi, AJ! Okay, we'll continue on up this way. Check this out, there's a bunch of spikes coming up here. Also, adding to that, it doesn't look like it's being maintained. I noticed too the spikes don't go through the rail. They have like a little cap that holds the rail down on the side. There's not actually a hole in the rail that they go into. Okay, checking out this piece of metal here. Brake, maybe? I rolled it over, it's kind of rubbery on one side.
Hold the track in place.
But it's curved. Okay, sorry AJ. Here to the right is just another piece of rail just laying there. AJ, are these tracks in use anymore?
Yeah, well, I don't know, unless they recently stopped them, but they're
Really? Because like there's some pieces there that don't look good.
It's been just a few months ago, I've seen
a train on it? Really? Okay. Okay. Facing west again.
To leave the cars up by that building there.
Okay. It's just pointing straight ahead on this track.
So
and this is facing west.
If they're remodeling that to make it a truck facility, then they might tear this track up, is what I'm saying.
Okay, I'm standing on the road here now, looking back to the east where it curves south. I'm going to swing around and look to the west. Here's west. I don't know, to me it looks like the tracks end up right there by that building that they're working on. AJ doesn't know what that's going to be. Right there, I can't see him anymore past that. Here's a sign though that says 2 tracks at one time. There was another one. And there's UPS in the background again. Okay, this is the end of the track. We're up here now all the way. And we're by this big building that's going to be a cold storage building, we found out. Okay. We're sitting in the same spot where we filmed the end of that track, looking to the right, and there's a little rise. This is the other side of the street where UPS is, and AJ says that on that rise,
there used to be another track that was torn out about 10 years ago.
Which would have been what year?
Around 1997, 98.
Okay, I'm looking back to the southeast where we've been filming. But AJ showed me where the second track used to come here in the road. And there's no track left. And I don't know if you can see it on film here, but there's definitely a patch in the road that's darker. Right where we saw the car pass, that's the darker spot. And it angles away from the other one. Here, you can see the seam of it right there. It's pretty wide. You can really see the seam on the right and just faintly on the left. Then, coming back over here, AJ said the old track followed this fence line, which curves up ahead and kind of goes up a rise. It's hard to film with all the stuff around here, but it curves up around and behind there where we can't see any further really. That was the old one that he said was torn out. Okay.
The track kept going straight until went up to an old brewery that used to be by Washington.
Oh, that one on like 26 27th in Washington, or 30th in Washington?
I remember that you could walk to it from our old
Okay.
house.
It curved before it went straight though, right? Because
No.
this is a curve up there in that fence.
Yeah, it curved along and went up a little hill, but it's hard to see now because they remodeled this area.
Okay, let's drive over by the brewery then.
Okay.
Talk to me, AJ. I can't hear you. Look this way and talk.
That's all. The track came up from back behind me, and how I walk is how it went.
You can see the fence line in the background there. We're on the other side now on 27th and W of where that fence was. AJ's walking the line, literally. Hear the train in the background?
Yeah. I was saying that how I walk is how the track went.
Okay.
So it just kept going here, going slantways.
Okay, I'm gonna swing around here because we're gonna run into the CRV because we parked right on where it used to go. But behind the CRV here is, you can see where it crosses W Street at about 27th. Again, the lines in the road at quite an angle. And that's where the tracks used to cross the street at. We're now facing southwest. And then there's a gate there right now. And it says Davis Electric Company. It's an industrial area in there now.
Before all the remodeling, when the track kept going, it split, and one part went to an old packing plant that used to be there, and the other part went to the old brewery I talked about before.
Okay, the brewery would be like ahead here further, like following that track. And the packing plant would have been Wilson, I believe it was.
Yep.
Wilson or Swift?
Wilson.
Wilson, back there where that green area is. When we lived on 28th in Washington, that was still up there. It was not in use, but it was there. Again, that was in the green area there. Up the hill past that flag. Okay, well, I'm gonna have to wait for AJ to get out of the CRV, but we're over here. This is the site of that old brewery AJ was talking about. Unfortunately, I don't have pictures, but when we lived over here on 28th and Martha, just down the street there, this was still standing, and it was an old dilapidated building. I think that's a remnant of it, actually. Okay, here's some track that's been pulled out. Wow, that's really different, a different kind of piece. No, maybe that's a beam, yeah, that's a beam, I think, instead of track. It's too wide. Here's track right here in the dirt. That's a concrete piece. This is the railroad track that I'm standing on. This part is old track, AJ, right here. Except I don't know if this is where it actually was because it's turned over. That square up there on the road, that's a scale.
Okay, because I remember walking by here a long time ago and I thought something.
Yeah, that square, that rectangular piece up there, that looks like it's right on the road now, that used to be a scale. This right here is railroad track, but I don't know that this is where it was. I don't recall. This used to be, where that's all cleared out, that used to be the old Wilson plant on the other side of that. Kind of up toward the hill. That was the green part there that we were seeing from the other direction. And then it was kind of junk, and now they've cleaned it out again. I don't know if they're building something over there or not. Do you know, AJ, what they're going to do with that area?
I have no idea.
Okay, we're up here now by where the scale is. This first iron thing is the scale. And then there's another piece of track back there. But AJ, are you sure there wasn't a track that came along the side at one time?
I'm sure, because if you look up to the right, you can see where it's part of another square.
Right, but just for the brewery?
Nope.
So you think this is, it almost looks like they laid this out, they're outlining it or something. But it's rail, but I don't know what it's doing there like that.
It's rail, but I think it's part of something else.
Okay. Yeah, there's some more rail there. It's like they were making a perimeter out of it. It's not real, like a full track. It's just rail that they kind of laid around the edge of that. Okay, we're looking at the brewery again toward the east, and this is Y Street. And we're just to the, we're looking to the west. And we're just barely to the west of 30th Street. And AJ says that this used to be where the railroad came through.
This road used to be a field.
I'm going to show you the houses on the right here pretty soon. They're all fairly new. These weren't here 15 years ago. That's just one of the houses, but there's houses all along the way here now. Okay, this is going to be hard to see because we're looking through a weeded fence, but this is the back side of what we said was the remnant of that brewery, and there were tracks in there. It's fenced in so we can't get in there, but there, you can kind of see them. Gotta look real careful, but they're in there.
Oh, those two things with, looks like there's little weeds by it?
No, right up in there in the concrete. Yeah, we're up by that weedy fence now. You can see them barely. Here's a building. They're running parallel to that piece of building they go east and west, and they're on the south side of the building.
Yep, you can see two tracks right there.
Yep. Two sets.
Too bad you can't go inside there.
Yeah. Maybe when they're open, they would let you walk in there and see it.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be the only thing that's left of them.
Okay, this is at the end of that Y Street that's still gravel here. Or it turned into gravel. Okay, AJ.
Those tracks went up a few feet up here and ended.
Okay, this is another remnant of the old brewery. That piece that we filmed first, that metal piece, this is to the south of it. Can't see it very well through this fence, but that's what it's from. Well, this is our old house on Washington Street, 2863 Washington. There's the ramp that got put in for AJ, still hanging in there 20 years later or so. And this is next door where Matt Chester used to live, AJ's buddy, where he met him. Okay.
This is my old school, Highland Elementary.
AJ attended here from, I think, he went to preschool here for 2 years, and then from 2nd grade to 6th grade. There's a whole bunch of portables out here now. There weren't any of these portables when AJ went to school. These are like temporary classrooms for when they don't have enough room in the building. There's a sidewalk where you guys went to go to AJ's classroom, which is right on the side there. This tall part is the gym area. This is AJ's old classroom for preschool, and then later when it was the OI room, or orthopedically impaired room, where he had like his special ed services in here. He went to regular classes, and then he would come back here like for extra help, and he'd go in here with his coat, and they'd help him with homework and be mean to him and stuff like that, right, AJ?
Yes.
Okay, here's some more track remnants. These are crossing Z Street, and I'm not sure exactly what the intersection that's closest is. It's maybe like 26, something like that. You can see in the road here, this one set, crossing kind of at an angle. What was back there before? Anything, AJ?
There was an old packing plant out back there.
What packing plant, do you know?
I don't know.
You sure it wasn't that hide place? There used to be a place over here where they tanned hides.
I don't know, I just seen on the map that it said that there was a packing plant.
Okay, we'll have to ask Dad then.
I know, I'm just walking to the side right here.
Okay, now we're just down the street, maybe 50 feet going to the east, and there's a double set right here that there's remnants of that crossed. Mainly you can see it right here in the end. 3 pieces of the 4 pieces of track. This one you can kind of see the track going through the pavement, and then the next one you mostly just see the patching area.
There are 2 tracks right next to each other.
Okay, and that's going back toward that same, mostly south, a tad bit, mostly straight south, I guess. It's hard to tell because the road's angled here. And there's that first one that was on the film. Okay, we're on 25th and Washington here. Seeing the wall or the side of a building that is what AJ said was a packing street where that went behind. Or packing plant. And where the street, or where the railroad went behind. I can't talk, AJ. We'll have to ask your dad if this used to be Lackawanna, where they used to process hides. I'm not sure. Okay, this is the back now of what used to be that packing plant or hide plant, whatever it was. Hey, there's a truck-like looking thing that says Santa Fe.
Huh.
See it up there, the symbol on that?
Yeah. Oh, I see it. Huh.
Okay, and here now again is, we're going to be crossing the tracks right now. This is remnants from where there used to be a railroad bridge that went over Polk Street. Street sign up there says to the left is Sarpy Avenue, and this other way here that we see the road, that's Polk, as in P-O-L-K. This is just the concrete supports now at this point. When AJ was little, we came through here quite often, and there used to be the bridge. But right now, all we can see is the supports. It's up on a hill, so you really can't see back in there further. This is the one on the south side of Polk, and the north side of Polk. Okay, we are to the south of where that bridge was now. And we're going to try to pick up, there's no track, but I think back in there is part of the grade. There's going to be some building in the way here, and we're going to kind of try to follow that grade back to the northeast up to the remnant of that bridge that crossed Polk. This is the side of a building now. It'll be over pretty soon. Pretty soon. Okay, here's the grade again up by the tree line. Okay, you can see up there in the trees the ridge there, that's where the railroad went. I'm looking to the east from Sarpy Avenue, but we're driving to the northeast. Those could be ties off to the side or a branch, I don't know. A couple of those look kind of square, they could be ties. But up on the ridge there again is where it was. Hard to see. We'll use those trucks. Just above the trucks on that rise is where the grade is. These buildings are in the way for taking pictures, sort of, AJ.
That's okay.
Okay, now as we're getting into the trees, it's bumpy, but there it is again. Right on that ridge. Okay, this is really hard to see on camera, but just keep looking at the rise where the dirt ends at the end of the trees. The ground does go up there, and that's where the grade is. And it's going to get a little higher here where the bridge was, but the trees also get denser. You can see it a little bit right there. There's kind of a clearing. We should come by later in the year, AJ, when more of the leaves are gone. We might get a better view.
Yeah, there's still a lot of leaves here.
You can see it a little better right in here now because we're closer to it. It's like the further down you go, the harder it is to see. Oh, sorry, my beeping again. Have to edit that out.
Oh,
There's an
well.
old water drainage thing down in there.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't get that on camera very well, AJ. Okay, and here's under the support. Okay.
I think that they might just be for maintaining the track. I don't think that they mean there's another track back in there. But I don't know for sure. Maybe more for maintenance, as there is a wood pile up there more too.
AJ, do you see any markings on this building to say what it is?
No.
Me either. I'm gonna take the zoom out a little bit so we can get more of these buildings.
Alright. This branches out now into a second track. Don't know if you can see it though. Now there's two tracks. They just cross the street. Still two tracks so far.
Let me know if you want me to turn anywhere, AJ, or stop.
I will.